Good afternoon everyone, I hope you're doing fantastic. In this video, what I'm going to be showing you or demonstrating or having a discussion about is literally the expenses of running an agency, from whether you're a small startup on a shoestring budget or you want to sort of upgrade your business. How much is it going to cost you month after month? What's the initial input you have to put in? And now I've broke it down into 3 stages, which I'm going to go through in a second. I'm going to tell you each individual thing you're going to have to purchase. So it's quite an in-depth video to a degree. Some things will change, but this will give you a blueprint about how much you have to either budget, put up front, or how much to give you an idea of your actual running costs. And these are based on what I've actually done in the past. So I broke it down into 3 stages, and I'll go through each stage individually. And I'm going to tell you how much each one starts in terms of startup cost. I'm going to break down the running costs per month. So you might stick at stage one, possibly for like 2-3 months, maybe even more, and then you might upgrade to stage two where you just buy additional software or whatever it is, or stage three. I started on stage three for my third agency. My first 2 agencies, I was on stage one, and they were all 3 of them were profitable. I've started many other agencies, but they're the ones that really stuck out, and that's the one. It's not to say you couldn't start on stage two, that would be no issue, but ideally most people would start on stage one, minimize the cost, prove the concept. Now, what I want to mention is I am doing coaching calls and the price will be going up soon, so do book in. Probably around June time the prices will be going up. So if you go on cadsmoney.com, there's a link in the description. By all means have a look at that. If you've got any questions around that, by all means get into it, and or get in contact with me. I'll be happy to answer them. Yeah, it's half an hour and an hour slots. So stage one. Now, stage one is basically the bare minimum setup. Yeah, a lot of these are free features that you're going to need. So like job posting, X-ray search, etc. So I'll break it down. So the website is going to cost anywhere from free. So if you use a free theme, there's a link in the description. Not description. There's a link in the top right. You should see now where I talk about how to actually set it up for free. Decent website. You can buy a theme for WordPress, which is going to be 50 quid, or you can just go to wix.com, something like that, that will help you just set up the website perfectly. Yeah, hosting, if you want to self-host, which I always recommend, Bluehost, probably about 50-60 quid per year, or £5 per month. It's dead cheap. I think it's even less than that. It's way less than that. I think it's like $60 or $100 or something. So it is dirt cheap. Email, you're going to need a business email. If you go with G Suite, it's probably about £5 a month. Outlook 365 is about £7-8, so it's slightly more. You do get additional features. You only need to buy the sort of basic package. You don't need anything as long as it's the business email. Other than that, you're just buying storage, which you don't need at this stage. You might want to get a banner made or some sort of logo. So you could go to Fiverr and you just want your website to have a little bit of professionalism around it. And you might get people to make you banners for your LinkedIn. I always think that helps, especially if they're good at what they do in designing as well. You want to set up your free LinkedIn account. So just make a company profile and make a separate profile for yourself. Also, the free job posting. So anywhere you can post a job for free, I would definitely do that. One thing I did miss out here was company registration, which you should actually do at the start. So company reg is, I believe, £12.50 on Companies House. This will vary country to country. In the United States or Canada, I think it goes up to like 120 because you have to get a license for it. So that's probably going to just bump up the cost about 160, 110 pounds, whatever. Yeah, on average. That's what I would recommend doing for stage one. Once you've set up, you've actually got a fully fledged business. Now you're probably thinking I don't have a phone, but everyone's got a mobile. You're probably watching this on your mobile, so by all means just use your mobile for now. You can obviously purchase a VoIP system, which is pretty good. I like to use those. I prefer it rather than going through to both my mobiles as well. So the running cost, the beauty of it is it's going to cost you, 100 and that much to set up the business. Yeah, on a bare minimum, you're going to have a fully functioning website, business email, and contact details. Yeah, and you're going to have a perceived perception on LinkedIn or some sort of online presence. Yeah, so you've got your agency. You can win clients the same as someone that spent 100 grand on their website, or they've got 500 employees. You are in the same boat as them, pretty much to win business. So hosting is going to cost you £5 a month unless you buy it all year. Same with the email, you can buy it all up front. So it's either going to cost you like 120 per year to set up. I like to obviously pay them off so I don't have to think about it. But some people just leave it running. So it's going to cost you £10 a month. It's a very low startup cost and it's going to keep you going. Now your goal with this, stage one, is to just make money. However you do it, your job is to get the placement in rather than trying to get a return on your investment. Once you get your money in, you move to stage two. You can move to stage two if you feel like it's got legs and you just want to put some money in. The more you invest, obviously, the easier the placements come. So sadly, it's tough at the start. Your first client, your first placement is going to be harder because you have less resources. You might be more fired up, so the investment will do well. So like I said, your main goal is just to get paid, not just make your placement, get paid. Once you've made your money and it's hit your bank account, then obviously then you can discuss everything. So VoIP you're going to need. So VoIP is a voice over internet protocol. I'll show you what it looks like. It looks like something like this, and you can just dial on here and you can just dial the number of that. I would definitely look at that. There's loads of providers. That provider's a bit crap. I don't really use that. I use yay.com, which is really good. I think I've got the business development or one of the account managers on LinkedIn, so shoot me a message on there. I'll connect you with him. He's pretty good. He's looked after me well. And you buy a personalized number and it calls through to your mobile, your desktop, and you can take it when you're not even on the computer. You can set it up on 3-4 devices. Yeah. So another thing you might look at, so it's probably going to cost you £5 to £20 per month, depending on what package. Website wise, you might want to upgrade it to a degree. If you've gone for the free version, you might want to say, okay, great, let me upgrade it. You might do that later on. Some people will run their agency on stage one for years and they won't upgrade anything. They won't even invest elsewhere. They've done it all from reputation. The really experienced people that have a good network actually run it on stage one, to be honest. They don't really need job boards or anything like that because they've got a database. So you might want to purchase as well. LinkedIn Recruiter is probably going to cost you about £100 per month. So I haven't added that in. That's £100 per month because it's £70 or £80 plus VAT. So you're going to look at that as a cost. Now, I would not recommend it for stage two. Stage three, yes, I would definitely get it because it does save you a bit of time and helps you organize well. Other than that, you can use X-Ray Search and it works pretty much the same. It just doesn't store it. LinkedIn Recruiter Lite, I mean, they've cut the connection limits as well, so it's not as great. Job board. The job boards we're going to be recommending are the free top generalist job boards. So it's Reed, Total Jobs, CV Library. And the number one to purchase first is the cheapest one, which is CV Library. You might be able to get a deal for like £2.5 per year, sometimes a bit cheaper than that. You get free job posts per month, so you can post maybe 5 or 15. I think I pay 3,300, something like that. I paid for the year, and it's 15 job posts, and then they said unlimited searching, but you can do 100 downloads a day of CVs. Helps you build your database as well as looking at growing the business with more placements because it's easier to find the people. They've got millions of CVs on there. Yeah, it's your choice what you want to look at. So again, this is still stage one, so we've still got that extra cost on there. With the VoIP, that's another £20-25, whatever it's going to cost. And then your CV search, you might want to look at Indeed as well, because that's still a CV search and a job board, but you can post for free on there. So I would definitely look at that as a whole, a general sort of rule. And pretty much your cost for running this is going to be about, your main cost is going to be the job board. It's probably about 450, upwards of 200 to 450. So you're looking at about £2,500 to £3,500. £2,000 if you're lucky and you do it well on the job boards. So that's what it's going to cost you per year. Now that's still a very part-time. I would say you're part-time within that in terms of your agency. This isn't your full-time job. You can still make good money. You can definitely make good money off of this, and that's what the sort of running costs will be with that. So Stage 3 is the stage that most people get to in about 6 months to a year. Some people start with it. I do not recommend, even if I wanted to start a new agency now, I would not do it this way, because I haven't proved the concept of the niche and I like the agency to pay for itself. So, number one thing that I love and always will is a CRM to help me keep organized. I'm definitely not an organized person, so CRM does come into play. There's about 3 or 4 enterprise level sort of CRMs that I would recommend. Bullhorn, Vincere, and JobAdder. They're the 3 that I've seen are really, really powerful. And you don't want anything cheap. It's better not to buy it. I would use something for free, but I would mitigate the data and move it across to one of those 3. There are probably better ones, but they're the ones I know and I've used. I've used a lot. I've purchased a lot. I've demoed tons, and none of them have impressed me like those 3. I would say Vincere is probably one of the better ones, but they have an upfront cost of like £1,500 now. It's totally ridiculous. They never had that before, as well. So contact those companies if you're interested. That should make you money. If it doesn't, then you're obviously just using it as a storage. You might as well use Excel. Yeah, a lead generation tool you might want to purchase as well. So an automation tool, you might want to get Zapier or some integration with some of these job boards, anything like that. These tools will come up into play. So a good example will be Octopus CRM. I use another one that I'll be doing a video on shortly about lead generation tools, and additionally you might want to be purchasing more job boards. So I've got 3 at the moment, so my running cost is about 9 grand off of that per year, just slightly more actually. And I sometimes, when I purchase a niche job board which typically are more expensive, but you can get a good ROI. So usually they price on, if I make one placement, then I've paid for it for the year. That's how I see it. So if you go ahead and buy a CV library, you should be reinvesting that money, and that job board should A, give you loads of access to loads of candidates, and C or B, you should be getting a lot more placements through the year. Even if it brings you, I don't know, one a quarter, you've made £10,000 from it, potentially, maybe more. So they are good in a sense that your return is going to be there. So fully setting up and running costs per year, bottom line, is going to be, without you taking a salary, just the sort of running cost of the agency. Like, this is a really operational agency. This is what 99% of most recruitment agencies will have. There's nothing extra or special you have to purchase. So if you've got 15 grand, you've set yourself up for the year and you're a good recruiter. That's what you should be doing, or get into the stage 2. So your hosting, your VoIP, everything. Your 3 job boards are going to cost you about £1,000 a month. Additional software which you're going to buy just to speed things up. CRM, let's say it's £100, so your running cost is going to be £1,500. So if you're taking a £3,000 salary on top, your target should be, you're going to be looking at about £5,000 per month running cost. So you're looking at maybe 60 grand to break even per year. So your target is, obviously, that's how I would do it. I would say, look, I need 60 grand because I want to cover my costs, pay myself a salary. That's the minimum. So ideally, to run a fully fledged agency, now at this stage you should have a ton of clients and you should be looking to hire people, because if you sit someone down and you say, here's your accounts, you've got access to all the job boards. Some agencies that have like 20-30 staff only would buy 1 or 2 job boards. They won't buy all of them. They'll only buy a CV library or Read, or just Read sometimes, depending. I know a lot of finance agencies just use Read. So there is a lot of element of, I just like to see. I don't like to leave any stone unturned when I look at that. So go ahead, have a look at these costs again, break it down. It should give you an idea, and I hope it really gives you an idea of how much it does cost to actually upkeep a recruitment agency, and just the sort of expenses rather than salary. So I hope that helped. Any questions, do let me know.